What's up, guys? Matt here with MaximumLivingPower.com, and this is my video coaching newsletter series. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, what does it mean to be a man? Well, I got an email from a young man that he is kind of struggling with the idea of what it takes to be a real man. And, he hears, just like I'm sure most of you watching this video, people struggling to, be a man. So I thought this was a great topic to put in a video newsletter, in case some of y'all watching this will, maybe struggle with the same concept. Maybe you didn't have a dad in your life and grew up with your mom like I did and had to learn on your own or from other men, how to be a man, or what does a man really do. And I know I struggled with this in my early 20s, in my first marriage, because I was more of a people pleaser. I didn't, really, my idea of a man was go to work, make the money, pay the bills, and, help support your family, which now that is part of your job as being a man, is being able to take care of your family. But one thing that I learned, over the years from just my self-development and just helping myself grow into the man I am today, is that a man has his own way of living, and he chooses, his life. He doesn't allow people to choose his life. He doesn't allow people to make the decisions for him if he doesn't want to make them. And I think this is a big key to a lot of men, especially today, because the society is, be Mr. Nice Guy and, be just basically this people-pleasing mentality. And a lot of the guys that are coming up, maybe without a father, or maybe a father that may be not a man, basically not a man's man, and the woman or the wife or his girl's controlling the family, the relationship, what's going on, then you're going to grow up the same way. And I didn't have a dad coming up. My mom was married, to a, obviously one guy at some point, but he wasn't a man. He just was an addict and didn't have no responsibility, didn't have any kids, no sense of anything at that point. So that was like basically going through a blank part of my life. Did I learn anything from that time? Yes, but that's on a different video. But at the same time, I just want to kind of help men understand that you create your own life. A man will follow his passion, his dreams, put himself, first whenever it comes to the way that he will direct his life. And I'm not talking about like guys that don't have it all together, guys that have some kind of addiction or in and out of a prison system or anything like that. I'm talking about, like, if you look at someone that you feel is a real man, then you will see some of the traits that they give off naturally. And one thing to keep in mind is that if you haven't had this coming up, you will struggle with trying to do it on a daily basis. And that was some of my problem, is that, whenever you're trying to make your own decisions and finally being able to say no when you want to say no, then you will kind of feel guilty about it, or it's just something that you don't feel that's right. And it's because of the way that you've been programmed over the years, and it just takes some time to develop. You got to have just basically an instinct habit, which takes practice. So the guy who sent me this email, he said that he is always in and out of relationships. He's in his mid-20s, so this is pretty popular because most people, until they get in a relationship, maybe they fall in love and get their heart broken, they don't know what's going on. They don't know why the relationship ends, or they don't know why it is that they are not successful with women or in any aspect of their life. So this is something that you, if you're watching this video, you have understood, just like him, that something's not working. And it took me a little bit to figure out why things weren't working. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, is because I lived a life pleasing people, and this is not just, like, girlfriends or a spouse or, family. I'm talking about friends. When I used to go out, like even in high school, somebody had an idea of something, they'd ask me what I would want to do. I'd be, okay, whatever y'all want to do. I never really stood up and basically said, okay, yeah, let's do this. And as a man, one of the hardest problems that we have is doing what we want to do, but not doing what we don't want to do. And there's nothing really, like shocking about that, but sometimes we don't see this. So that's just a little thing to keep in mind whenever you're trying to, become the man that you were intended to be. And, what does a real man do? A real man does manly stuff. I'm talking about, like, if you look at today's society, you've got a lot of men that's doing a lot of different things. They don't want to get their hands dirty. They're not in with nature. They're not in with hunting, fishing, any of that stuff. They just basically sit in an office all day in a suit and tie, and then, that's it. Which there's nothing wrong with if that's your line of work, but when you're off and you have this basically this mentality, naturally, you're going to want to go out and do things. You're going to want to experience nature. You're going to want to go out and, hang out. If you got any kids, you're going to want to hang out with your boy. You're going to, want to go out and see the country, or if you're not really into country scenes, it's just basically doing what men do and what they've always done. And one thing that I also learned is that sometimes the movies that we watch give us a false sense of reality, and most of the movies nowadays are about, a lot of them are about feminine men just chasing women or doing things that men are not really naturally drawn to do, but it's showing young men coming up on things that they shouldn't do, but men don't know this unless obviously their father. Now, one thing, I'm a father, so, and I got a son as well, and one thing about this is that as a father, it's your job to make sure that your men or your boys are validated, to feel, understand that they are men, they are real men, and that's where they should be. It's not none of this stuff about, of course, me being raised around my mom and my sister my whole life, I never had that, but it's just naturally instinctive to not feel right whenever you live a certain lifestyle that that you're not naturally supposed to be, and you wonder why things don't work out. Well, that's why, because of that situation. So I just wanted to put this in a video. If y'all have any questions on this topic or want to learn more, or maybe there's something on this topic that I didn't get to cover because I didn't want to make it too long, you can go to my website at MaximumLivingPower.com and go to the Contact Me tab, and then email me your question. If you would like my help personally, you can go to the same website. Just go to the Coaching Options tab and select the option that works best for you. Just be patient if you send an email, because I do get a lot of emails, and then I also have requests from my coaching clients. So, but I will get to your question as soon as I can. And please like, subscribe, and share this video for more topics on these and other topics. And I will talk to you soon.